It has been quite a while since I made a recording. I apologize for that. I've had to vacate my desk for the last week or so while some work has been done in the house. I'm back at my desk again and hopefully we'll be putting out much more content going forward. Today I thought I would discuss the latest movement in South Africa called the IMSTAYING movement. They have a group on Facebook that has in excess of 700,000 members already. I know people who are members of this group and that have sent me invitations to join it. Today I thought I would take a look at this group and make a decision whether or not I would join it. It is an open group that can be viewed by anyone, but only members can post to it, obviously. I've just spent the last half an hour scrolling through the posts in the group, and this is basically a summary of what I've seen or what I've came across. The first post that caught my eye was that of a little girl that had been cancer-free for the last 3 years and had not received any chemotherapy in that same period. Firstly, I would like to congratulate this little girl. It is fantastic to have beaten the big C. Well done. Her parents must be extremely grateful and happy. My question though is, what has this got to do with having a reason to stay in South Africa? This little girl could be a citizen of any country, and nothing would take away from her achievement. She beat cancer, and that is an achievement anyway, all by itself. How can this possibly be a reason to stay in South Africa? Scrolling further, I found a post by a fireman who says that he will risk his life to save people. Last time I checked, this was a fireman's job, wasn't it? I'm sure that firemen all over the world are trained to take life-threatening risks to save people's lives. Why is this a reason to stay in South Africa? Further down, I came across a post of one motorist who helped another motorist whose car had broken down alongside the road. Forgive me if I am mistaken, but isn't that just the right thing to do, or the decent thing to do under normal circumstances? If the truth be told, this Good Samaritan was risking his life doing what he did. South Africa is an extremely dangerous place, and you could have just as easily been a victim of a trap to get him to stop. Who knows what could have happened to him after that? The area was most probably a safe-ish area, and he decided the risk was worth the reward of being of service. Well done, sir. I ask again, what has this got to do with a reason for staying in South Africa? In another post, the poster states that she is a teacher and is staying because she enjoys passing on knowledge. Again, I have to ask the question, what has this got to do with a reason for staying in South Africa? This poster could have been in any country and still enjoyed passing on knowledge to others. What makes this teacher's experience make her want to stay in South Africa? The truth about the education system is that the average level of education imparted by the education system these days in South Africa leaves a lot to be desired. A 30% pass rate at school is nothing to be proud of. It goes to the standard of the teaching that happens in these schools. Who knows, this teacher might be one of those that stand head and shoulders above the rest and actually does give a level of teaching that is a cut above the rest. If so, I applaud you. Yet I have to ask, what makes that a reason to stay in South Africa? In another post, a paramedic says that he is staying because he enjoys saving lives. Well, the last time I checked, the reason why we have paramedics anywhere is to save lives. He could literally be doing his job anywhere in the world where they use paramedics and still have job satisfaction. In fact, he would theoretically have a higher chance of surviving the hazards of his job if he did in fact practice in another country, since paramedics are now accepted targets at trauma scenes countrywide. How does just being a paramedic qualify as being a legitimate reason for staying in South Africa? One of my absolute favorite, and a post I saw more than once by different people, was the fact that they enjoy eating bunny chows. Now, let me be the first one to say that there is nobody that I know that enjoys a bunny chow more than I do. But yet again, how does that qualify as a good reason to stay in South Africa? Learn how to make a decent curry and make your own bunny chow, no matter where you live. One post that gave me a bit of a chuckle was the one by a person that stated the reason they were staying in South Africa was because they enjoyed the sound that a certain frog makes. I don't think I need to ask the relevant question here, do I? The country is falling apart and being burned to the ground around us. But hey, I'm staying because I like the sound of a frog in my garden. How naive can you get? I saw a post where a poster stated that they were staying because they have just obtained a degree. Well, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but that degree is worth about as much as the paper it is written on. I know because one of my kids has recently obtained a degree in the medical field. Her degree is worth nothing outside of the borders of South Africa. Not in a civilized world anyway. This is probably one post I agree with. You had better stay in South Africa with that degree, or be prepared to basically do that degree over if you intend leaving the country for any other civilized countries around the world. There are also the nonsensical posts, like the one by a miner that says he is staying because he is prepared to risk his life every day going underground in the mine. I don't think I need to elaborate on how ridiculous this is. I mean, the guy is brave to be going down there. I wouldn't want to. But what has that got to do with the reason for staying in South Africa? Another ridiculous post was by a poster who said that he was staying because he had great work colleagues. I guess there is no place on earth other than in South Africa where you can have great work colleagues. I could go on, but I think you get the picture here. I'm all for positivity and progress. But to me, this group is just a bunch of people isolating themselves from reality and trying to convince themselves that South Africa is a place of happiness, where crime is a small problem, where 57 murders every day is a minor problem, where a statistic that says that at least 40% of South African females will be raped at least once in their lifetime is only a minor problem. The amount of violence we see in the country every day is nothing. The fact that South Africa is now considered the rape capital of the world and is considered the second most dangerous country in the world to live in is also nothing to worry about. The destruction of infrastructure is a minor thing. The fact that every single SOE is bankrupt and surviving on handouts from the government, which by the way is nothing more than taxpayers being penalized for the inability of the people running the SOEs to do their jobs. Wouldn't it be far more productive for the members of these groups to say that South Africa is worth saving, the Afrikaans heritage is worth saving, the Afrikaans culture is worth saving, our infrastructure is worth saving, instead of destroying? I could go on, but I'm afraid this group seems to be nothing other than a huge group of people who think that by ignoring the problem this country faces, by pretending that simply doing what they are supposed to do anyway, is going to miraculously turn this country into the Garden of Eden they dream about in their denial of the realities every day. Don't get me wrong though, I am all for staying, and I am staying too, but my reasons are a bit different from these people's. I am staying because I am tired of living in a crime-infested country where the life of a person is often not worth as much as a packet of cigarettes or a pair of shoes. I am staying because I am willing to be a part of the solution to this problem. I am willing to fight to make this country a decent place to live in. I see and acknowledge that if I and others like me do not stand up to this savage behavior, there will be no future in South Africa for me, you, your children, or their grandchildren. I am staying because I am tired of opening Facebook every day and seeing how another farmer has been attacked and killed by a few cowardly savages. I see and acknowledge that once the farmers are gone, this country will starve. I'm tired of seeing pensioners murdered in their care facilities for their valuables. I'm tired of driving with my windows closed and my doors locked in case someone tries to hijack me or steal the laptop from the floor next to me. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to stop this madness. I am staying because I can see and acknowledge that the lies being sent out to the world by our own government are nothing more than outright lies and propaganda sent out to gather sympathy for a people who are hell-bent on blaming whites for their own inability to compete on an equal footing. I am staying because I can see and acknowledge that we as the white minority in South Africa are being purposely demonized and penalized by government with their well over 100 BEE laws simply because they are not capable of competing with us on any meaningful level without legislation to handicap us. I am staying because I am one of those who can see that if we as the minority do not do something to stop what is happening here soon, we will definitely end up as another Zimbabwe. There is no doubt that this is where we are heading, and those who do not see this are part of the problem. If you think that a few people doing what any decent person should be doing anyway is going to transform this country, you're sorely mistaken. Take a look around you. See the chaos and destruction that takes place every single day. Take the trouble to look up the images of the farmers and their families that are being murdered and tortured every day. Open your eyes and get your heads out of your proverbial asses. Just because there are over 700,000 of you does not make you right. It shows the herd mentality of ignorant people. If you would like your children to have any kind of future in this country, if you would like your grandchildren to have any kind of future in this country, I would suggest that you acknowledge the reality of what is really happening in South Africa and stop trying to surround yourself with as many people as you can who are also living in denial so that you can all blow smoke up each other's asses, trying to convince each other that there is nothing wrong in this country. Please remember to like and share this video on as many other social media platforms as possible. If you have not subscribed to my channel yet, now is a good time to do it. While you're there, click on the bell icon to be notified every time I upload new content. If you would like to support my channel and my work, I have provided ways for both local as well as international subscribers to make a contribution. If you'd like to make a crypto contribution, I've also provided a Bitcoin as well as a Litecoin wallet address. To those that do support me, I say a huge thank you. Be safe out there. Until next time.